Leslie, it's me again, obviously, and I've taken your advice. I'm going to give you a track story about me and a soccer story. And the track story is a little simpler to tell, so I'll start off with that one. When I was in high school, I went out for the track team, and I was 15 as a sophomore, and I'd only just begun to grow. I was still very much a boy and not a man. I think I just, by the spring of my sophomore year, I think I'd just passed my mother in height. And being that small and weak, I went out for the mile. Yes, the mile. And of course, I didn't know what I was getting into 4 times around the track. And it was misery itself. Oh my God. And my whole objective was not to come in last. Not to come in last. When you have a dual meet, we Summit High had 3 people, and the other team generally had 3 people, so they were 6. And I wanted to stay out of last place. And our number 1 guy, he ended up setting the school record for the mile, and it was pretty pathetic, but nevertheless, it was a school record. He broke 5 minutes. He ran 4:50 something, 57 or something, and that set the school record. And the second guy from Summit was a senior. I remember his name, Star, and he was a terrible runner. And my whole objective was to beat him so I wouldn't be last. And then they had to contend with the other 3 from the other school, and occasionally I beat 1 or 2 of them, but I never got within sniffing distance of 3rd place. And the rules were that if you were a member of good standing of the team, and you scored just 1 point for the year, you got your letter. So if I could have come in 3rd, I would have gotten 1 point somewhere. Well, that was never a chance that I was going to come in 3rd, never. And as I said, I was battling to stay out of the last place, and most of the time I did. I think my best time was like 5:18 for the mile, and in retrospect, that wasn't so bad. But okay. Now comes the junior year, and I said, well, I'm now beginning to grow, and I passed both mother and daddy in height, and I think I was about 6 feet, maybe 5'11", something like that, and skinny as a rail, and I'm running the half mile. And we had a marvelous half miler. He could have easily have set the Summit record in the half mile, but he was too lazy to bother. But he wasn't too lazy to win, but he was too lazy to set this school record. And he was a friend of my brother Carl's. He was a friend of mine. And then we had a classmate of mine, Carl Fears, who was just better than me. And so if I could beat all 3 of the guys from the other school, I could get a 3rd, but of course I never could. There was always 1 guy from the other school, and the best I ever did was to come in 4th, and I generally came in 4th or 5th, and the whole year went by, and I didn't score a point. So I'm 2 years on the track team, and I not even got a letter. I've not even got a letter. Now come the senior year, and now I'm pretty big. I mean, I'm 6'1 and a half, and maybe 6'1 3/4, and I'm pretty much, pushing my full size, and a very different person. And I said, I'm running the quarter mile and the hurdles. So I'm running shorter distances the quarter mile, and I decided I had the strength and the size to be running the high and low hurdles. Well, the very first event is always the high hurdles. They're always set up, and they're the first event, and bang, off it goes. And I remember so vividly that I was concentrating just on the hurdle ahead of me, and just running. And then I realized that I had something hanging off me, and what was this hanging off me, and where was everybody? And then I realized that that was the tape, and I had won the race. I had won it. And so I ended up the day, get this, winning both hurdles races and the quarter mile. And bang, in my first of senior meet, I scored 15 points. And I was the high scorer on the team, because in most of our dual meets with the other schools, I won 3 events: high hurdles, low hurdles, and quarter mile, and was the high scorer. And so there you are. That's the payoff for persistence and never giving up. And I set the school record in the low hurdles, and I came in second in the whole suburban conference. At the end of the year, they had a big suburban conference track meet in northern New Jersey, and I took second in the low hurdles. So that was my best event. Anyway, that's it on track, and if we got more time, I'll do the soccer.
Look at the second one.